You're watching Major League Baseball's virtual network. I'm Nicholas Callis. These are your game recaps and standing updates from Friday, April the 17th, 2020. Starting in the American League, the Cleveland Indians beat the Boston Red Sox. The Red Sox continue to struggle in 2020. They are in last place in the American League. The Indians, however, fighting for a spot atop the AL Central and will keep pace with this win. Shane Bieber got the win, Eduardo Rodriguez got the loss, and Brad Hand now with 9 saves on the season with the Indians. Interleague play here between the New York Yankees and the Cincinnati Reds. The Yankees were able to win 1-0 after scoring in the 5th inning. Losaiga got the win out of the bullpen. Jose De Leon got the loss. Aroldis Chapman now has 2 saves on the season with the Yankees. And some unfortunate news for Reds fans. Starting pitcher Wade Miley fractured his hand in this game, and that's why he didn't get a decision. He got taken out. He is on the 60-day injured list now, and he'll be out for roughly a 2 to 3 month period. You can see more on that on the Twitter page at VirtualMLB. American League Baseball here. The Toronto Blue Jays beat the Tampa Bay Rays 5-1. This is a matchup of the AL East variety. Trent Thornton got the win. He's 2-0 now, and Yanni Chirinos got the loss. He's now 0-3. One of our games of the day here on Major League Baseball's virtual network. The Chicago White Sox and Texas Rangers, 2 of the top teams in the American League, faced off, and the White Sox were able to win by the score of 5-1. The Rangers scored first in that top of the 6th, but the White Sox answered quickly in the bottom half, scoring 2 runs in the bottom of the 6th and then putting up 3 in their next inning on offense. Jimmy Cordero got the win and Montero got the loss in this one. Our other game of the day here on Major League Baseball's virtual network. The Baltimore Orioles played the Kansas City Royals, and the Royals came out on top 2-1 despite the Orioles getting 12 team hits as opposed to the Royals' 6. Jesse Hahn got the win. He's 3-0. Hunter Harvey got the loss. He's 0-2. And Ian Kennedy now with 4 saves as closer of the Royals. AL Central Baseball in this matchup. The Minnesota Twins beat the Detroit Tigers 4-3. Tyler Duffy got the win. Schreiber got the loss. And Taylor Rogers with 7 saves now. He's been a little shaky this season in save opportunities, but was able to save this one in the top of the 9th for the Twins. An AL West matchup that featured the Oakland Athletics and the Seattle Mariners. The Athletics scored first and scored many runs. The Mariners put up a 3 spot in the top of the 9th, but could not complete the comeback. And they lost this one. Sean Manaea got the win. He's 1-0. Marco Gonzalez now 1-3 on the season. And Liam Hendricks with 6 saves now as closer of the A's. More AL West baseball. This game took 13 innings to complete, but the Astros walked it off in the bottom of the 13th inning. The Angels lost 9-8, despite the Angels scoring the 8 runs and getting 15 team hits. The Astros scored 9 runs on 11 hits. Ryan Presley got the win out of the bullpen. He now has 2 wins on the season, and Keenan Middleton now has 2 losses with the Angels. Moving to the National League, the Giants continue to be on a hot streak, and the Braves right now not competing to repeat as NL East champions. They lose this one 5-4. The Giants scored first, then fell behind, but had a 3-run 7th inning and then took the lead in the 9th and were able to win. Sam Coonrod got the win. He's 1-0. Luke Jackson with the loss. He's now 0-2. And Tony Watson doing well in his new role as closer with the Giants. He has 8 saves on the season here in the middle of April. Cubs-Nationals played each other. Nationals won 5-3. 5 runs on 10 hits. The Cubs scored 3 runs on 7 hits. Voth got the win out of the bullpen. McGill got the loss. And Sean Doolittle now has 8 saves on the season with the Nationals. Another National League Baseball game that featured the Milwaukee Brewers and the New York Mets. The Brewers scored a handful of runs in a few different innings and ended up tallying 8. As you see there, 8 runs on 8 hits. That's 1 run for every hit that they had. The Mets only scored 1 run, and it was in the 2nd inning. Zach Brown got the win, and Corey Oswalt making his first start with the Mets in 2020, replacing an injured Marcus Stroman. He got the loss, his first of 2020 with the Mets. National League East baseball that featured the Philadelphia Phillies and the Miami Marlins. Phillies scored 7 runs on 16 hits. The Marlins scored 3 runs on 7 hits and lost. Aaron Nola got the win. Yamamoto got the loss. They're each 3-1 now in their decisions on the season. The Rockies found a way to score 3 runs in the 9th inning to send this game to extras, and they broke their losing streak, beating a hot team in the Cardinals by the score of 6-5. Wade Davis, who came in late in relief as their closer, got the win on the mound. Each team had 11 hits, but the Rockies were able to come back again in the 13th and score 2 runs to walk it off at home. And then the Pirates and the Dodgers, they played each other in this National League Baseball game. The Dodgers won 5-4. The Dodgers got 3 runs in the first inning, which really helped them sustain a lead. The Pirates were looking to make a comeback, scoring 2 runs in the 5th and then 2 runs late in the 8th, but couldn't come back. Alex Wood got the win. Derek Holland got the loss. He's still winless this season. And Kenley Jansen now with 5 saves as the Dodgers closer. Take a look at standings now. Around the league, starting in the American League East. The New York Yankees won today, as did the Toronto Blue Jays, and the Rays lost, and that now puts these 3 teams tied for first place in the American League East. The Orioles close behind, 1.5 games back. They're 9-10, and the Red Sox lost today. They're 6.5 games back with a 5-16 record. The American League Central, the Chicago White Sox won today. They're now 14-6 on the season. In the lead for this division, the Twins 12-8, 2 games back on a 2-game winning streak now. The Indians have won 2 straight as well. They won today, and they're 10-11 now, 4.5 games back of the division, tied with the Royals, who are 9-10, 4.5 games back of the division. And then the Tigers are 4-15. They're in last place in the AL Central, 9.5 games back of the division lead. And then to the American League West, the Houston Astros at the top of the division, 11-8 is their record, trailed closely by the Oakland Athletics, who won today. They're 11-10. Rangers are 10-10, 1.5 games back of the division after losing today. The Mariners 9-12. They're 3 games back of the division, tied with the Angels, 3 games back with an 8-11 record, although the Angels on a 3-game losing streak now after losing to the Astros today. Wildcard standings still too tight, not too relevant, but here's a visual of the numbers and where your team may stand at the top. And then to the National League, the Washington Nationals, 13-6 is their record. They're at the top of the division still. They were able to win today against the Cubs. The Miami Marlins trailing relatively close behind, but still at a decent amount of games back, 2.5 games back of the NL East lead. The Philadelphia Phillies have won 2 straight. They're 11-10, 3 games out of the division. Then you have the Braves, who are on a slide. Lost today, and they're 9-13, 5.5 games out. And they are tied with the New York Mets, who are 8-12 and 5.5 games out, both tied for last place. To the National League Central, the Milwaukee Brewers are 13-7 at the top of the NL Central. The Chicago Cubs lost to the Nationals today. They're 1 game out of the division with a 12-8 record. Then you have the St. Louis Cardinals, who are 10-10 after losing today. They're 3 games out. The Pirates have now lost 3 straight. They're 9-11, 4 games out of the division. And the Reds, 5.5 games out of the NL Central, 7-12 is their record. And to the National League West, the Padres didn't play today. They're 15-4, though. They're still in first place in the NL West. And the San Francisco Giants were able to win today. They're 13-7 now, 2.5 games out of the division. The Arizona Diamondbacks, 10-10 is their record. They're 5.5 games out, tied with the Dodgers, who won today against the Pirates. They're also 10-10, 5.5 games out. And then the Colorado Rockies, despite winning today, still have 3 wins on the season. They're 3-16, 12 games out of the NL West lead. And the wildcard standings are relevant right now, but here's a visual of where your team may stand toward the top, although still a long way to go before these become prominent to the standings factor. These have been your game recaps and standing updates from Friday, April the 17th, 2020. I'm Nicholas Callis. You've been watching Major League Baseball's virtual network.